Hi everyone, welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Marketing Ninja Unleashed. In this episode, we're breaking down one of the most overcomplicated buzzwords in digital marketing, programmatic advertising. We're diving into personalisation in advertising and how to tailor your messaging in ways that actually work on platforms like Meta and Google. And finally, we discuss why self-awareness is the real superpower for founders, marketers, and brand builders alike. Hi everyone, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4 of Marketing Ninja Unleashed. I'm Rena, founder of You and Your Story, and I'm so glad that you've tuned in. Before I get into today's episode, I want to take a minute to remind you of why I actually started this podcast in the first place. So if you've listened to Season 1, Episode 1, you'll know that this whole podcast thing came from a place of honesty. I didn't start this as someone trying to be an influencer or even jump on a trend. I started it because, like so many people out there, I got tired of hearing vague marketing advice that wasn't really talking to real businesses with real challenges. And for me, I wanted to help those people in marketing do better marketing for their companies and develop their marketing careers while they're at it. And one final reason, being an introvert, I wanted to show you that those people who thought great marketing was all about being the loudest were wrong. It's definitely not that. So, this podcast is my way of cutting through the noise, giving you grounded, practical, and sometimes quite personal insight to help you build your brand the right way. And today's episode is no different. Today, we're covering programmatic advertising, a fancy term for something quite straightforward, personalization when it comes to advertising online, and self-awareness for you and your brand as well. So, starting with something that sounds incredibly complicated, but actually really isn't. Programmatic advertising. If you're thinking, Rena, what are you on about? That sounds way too technical. Not for me. I get it. But when I first heard the term, I used to work for a financial services company. We were looking to expand reach and get out to a new audience. And this agency came in, started talking about programmatic advertising like it was the best thing since sliced bread. They convinced the senior leadership that it was a great idea and they spent a load of money on it, but never really understood what it was going to deliver. So I delved into it a little bit more. Programmatic is just a very clever word for digital advertising that's automated and personalized using data. So instead of placing ads manually, platforms like Google and Meta can automatically place them in real time, targeting people based on things like their behavior, their interests, their demographics, even their location. It means that your ads are getting in front of the right people at the right time with the right message. It's smart marketing when it's used well. But there is a trap. If you don't know your audience or what makes them tick, all this clever targeting will not save you. It's like sending a hand-delivered invitation to somebody who has zero interest in your event. And that's where personalization comes in. But before I go into how you can personalize ads, I wanted to explain why I'm talking about this. It's because you're about to hear an ad. But what I hear when, and if I listen to my own voice when I listen back to this episode, it will be totally different to what you hear. And I would love to know what ads you're hearing, just because I'm curious. Drop me an email on hello@yastory.com and let me know.
Flowers die in 3 days. Matching underwear from MeUndies? That's a gift that lasts. MeUndies creates matching prints for couples and friends. Same adorable designs and different cuts for each of you. All made from their signature ultra-modal fabric that feels impossibly soft. With 30 million pairs sold and 90,000 5-star reviews, MeUndies matching prints are the perfect gift. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so don't wait. Get exclusive deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT. That's MeUndies.com/comfort, code COMFORT.
Welcome back. So hopefully you've heard an ad that was actually relevant to you. And now I want to tell you how you can do personalization properly. And by that, I mean actually understanding behavior and tailoring your content to speak directly to your customers. Let me give you an example. I went to Rome earlier this year. In the run-up to my holiday, and for a little bit afterwards, all I was seeing was adverts and suggested social posts about restaurants and sights to see in Rome. Because once I searched for a nice gelato place in Rome on Instagram. All the videos, all the ads that I started seeing were from the same style and quality as other food bloggers that I had followed in the past. So they obviously caught my attention. And before I knew it, I was incredibly distracted. And I found myself going down a bit of a rabbit hole, watching video after video of all these incredible restaurants in Rome. I ended up building my entire itinerary from it. So I totally get the term Instagram made me do it, because it definitely made me plan my Rome trip that way. And that's how great marketing actually works. It listens, then responds with something relevant. And that's how you should structure all of your marketing. Because if you're not doing it, I can guarantee that your competitors are. So let's get into the how behind personalized digital ads, because this is where the magic happens and also where a lot of businesses slip up. I want to start with Meta. Whether you love or hate Facebook and Instagram, there's no denying the power behind their targeting engine. But it's only powerful if you feed in the right information. So the things you need to focus on are custom audiences. If you can, and you have the right permissions, upload your customer lists, email signups or website visitors. Then build lookalike audiences based on actual behavior, not guesswork. Engagement targeting. You can retarget people who've watched your videos, clicked on a post or visited your profile. They're not cold leads, they're actually warm leads. Treat them like it, follow up with these people. And dynamic ads. These let you serve different products or messages based on what someone's looked at. They're great for e-commerce, but actually work for service-based businesses too. All you need to do is segment your ads based on service pages that they visited. Meta is incredibly powerful because it's personal. Use it to show relevant messages to people based on where they are in their journey, not just a one blanket ad for everyone. Now, let's talk about Google. Google is intent-based, meaning you're showing up when someone's actively searching for something. That's gold. But again, personalization is the key. You can use responsive search ads. These allow you to input multiple headlines and descriptions, and Google mixes and matches them based on what works best for the user. Location and device targeting means you can run ads differently for mobile versus desktop, or tweak your language depending on the user's location, especially if you're a local business. Ad extensions. Use site link extensions, callouts and structured snippets to give people more information tailored to what they're actually searching for. But most importantly, track everything, because you can't personalize effectively without data. Use UTM codes, set up proper conversion tracking in Google Analytics, and review your performance regularly. Personalized ads are about being helpful, serving people what they need when they need it, in a way that actually feels relevant, not robotic. And when you do it well, you stop interrupting and start connecting with your customers. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about something that I've been affected by in good and bad ways: self-awareness. And this links to everything we've just talked about, because if you're not self-aware as a founder or marketer, you'll constantly be second-guessing every decision that you make. On a personal level, be aware of how you come across to others. Not everyone is like you and won't take the things you say in the way you mean them all the time. Think about it. Do you come across as too quiet and therefore not interested or passionate, as I used to when I first started working, hence the reason I got fired? Or maybe you have a loud, confident voice and come across as intimidating to people like me, meaning people aren't always honest around you because they're afraid of your reaction. They're thinking that you might come across as really aggressive when you're frustrated, or if you provide the wrong information, when actually you're just being passionate. They don't know that. By knowing how you come across and taking into account their communication preferences, you're far more likely to get honest responses and build trust with the people around you. From a branding perspective, you'll end up copying competitors. You'll run ads that don't feel like you if you're not self-aware. You'll end up outsourcing strategy to software and start wondering why it's not converting. If you don't know what you stand for or who you're really trying to reach, you'll never end up building marketing that sticks. And I actually learned this the hard way. So earlier in my career, I was always trying to sound more corporate or be more creative depending on who I was talking to. And that's not what I needed to do. The day that I embraced my own tone, my own energy, is when people really started listening to me. Self-awareness is knowing what makes your brand different, what you're not trying to be, and who you actually serve. When you're clear on that, your messaging sharpens, your ads resonate, your team gets on board. Everything becomes easier because it's real. So if you're feeling stuck right now, don't just look at your strategy, look inward. Ask yourself, Do I know what I want this brand to be? And am I showing up as that consistently? Because the best marketing doesn't start with platforms, it starts with you. So, a quick recap of today's episode. We talked about programmatic advertising, which is just personalized advertising done at scale, and it works when you know your audience. Personalization isn't a tech trick, it's a human skill, one that design, message, and data all play into. And self-awareness, it's about you. Know who you are and who your customers are and how you want to talk to them. Whether you're running ads, writing copy, or building a full brand campaign, it all comes back to knowing who you are, who you're speaking to, and why it matters to them. So, my question for today, do you know who you're talking to? And if you're not quite sure yet, that's okay. Start by asking the right questions and take it one clear step at a time. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next episode. Remember, you and your story is here to make sure your story is the one the world won't forget.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.